Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to the channel. For those that don't know me, I'm Imola, I'm 27 years old. I moved to South Africa to be with the love of my life. I am an online nutrition and fitness coach and I teach Dutch online. In this series, I am taking you along on my first ever marathon training and marathon. So my goal is to try and run a marathon in 3 hours and 30 minutes, and I've been doing 80 plus training sessions runs so far, and I am now training as a hybrid athlete. This means that I'm doing strength training as well as running combined, and in this series I'm going to take you along on my training split, but also my fuel, my nutrition, what I eat to fuel my runs and my strength training sessions, so that hopefully you'll be able to learn something from it. If you have any questions or anything else, I would love to chat in the comment section down below. Okay, let's move on to the training. Today was Monday, and on Monday I start with intervals. This morning I didn't have any breakfast, so this was a fastest run, which was probably not the best decision to make because intervals are quite heavy. I initially wanted to run just under marathon pace, but I started a bit too fast. So my marathon pace is just under 5 minutes. So it's like 4 minutes 50 seconds or 4 minutes and 45 seconds, somewhere around there, so that I hopefully am able to run the marathon in just 3 hours and 30 minutes. That's why you have to train at the marathon pace to be able to hold that pace for much longer. But in training, it's just very important to be around that marathon pace. But I was honestly a bit faster. I started a bit too quick. I started around 4 minutes 30 seconds, and that killed me at interval number 4 or 5. I was finished. Then it was also raining, so that combo wasn't great. I had a bit of a stomach ache that also wasn't fully great. So then what I did, when I finished my intervals, I changed my shoes. I saw that my husband was also doing a workout. He was doing a full body session. He is a squash player and squash coach, so he definitely needs to stay fit and also do some strength training to be able to manage his squash, because that's quite taxing on the body. I just greeted a neighbor. He was telling me that I had to go inside because it was raining and I should get some tea. But yeah, honestly, it's just a bit of rain. I'm not made out of sugar, so I'm not gonna melt. And honestly, after such a heavy interval session, it was quite nice to have a bit of rain. It cooled me down quite a bit, and I was just taking it slow. I was just breathing through my nose, and it was actually quite nice, to be honest. Especially after a hard interval session, taking it a bit slow feels really, really good. After that run, around 6 minutes per K pace, I was done. I went inside, got changed, and then I started cooking. So this morning I started making soup. I've been eating soups almost every evening now. It's just a way for me to get in some extra veggies, and I honestly really enjoy soup. First ingredient is carrot, then butternut. I actually kept the seeds of the butternut. Stay tuned what I do with it later. Then of course the garlic and the ginger and some onion. Just make it all into small pieces, pop it into a pot so you can boil it. Some tomatoes, give it a good stir. Make sure that everything is soft, like completely soft. When that is the case, you pop everything into a blender, you mix it all, and then you just boil it just for a little bit. And then I just always pop it into containers, and this gives me almost 8 days to eat from, which is absolutely amazing. It takes you an hour to make, and you have dinner for 8 days. But then I also had to make lunch, so I was going to make some sort of seafood curry for my husband and myself for lunch. So a couple of the ingredients: onion, ginger, garlic, tomatoes, vegetable mix, olive oil. Started of course with the onions into a big pot. then garlic, ginger, mix it all around, and of course give your kitchen a bit of a clean up. I love to have a clean kitchen, so you can call me a clean freak, but that's okay. I popped in some chicken bouillon basically, and some herbs and spices. Yeah, some turmeric, some paprika powder, some mixed spice, some salt, some parsley, some bay leaves at the end. Just make sure to mix everything correctly. Then when all the flavors are combined, you pop in your rice, you give it a good mix so that all the flavors, all the herbs and spices are in the rice. Then I popped in my veggie mix, gave it a good stir. Then I popped in all the seafood. Again, made sure to mix everything correctly, that all the flavors are combined. And then all you have to do is just pop in some water, put the lid on, and don't move the lid for, let's say, 20 to 25 minutes. And in the meantime, I got myself some biltong and I did some editing while I was making lunch. Just always make sure to taste test it, because you never know about the flavors. Maybe you need to add some spices, some herbs or spices. So that's what I did, and it turned out pretty nice. So that's what we had for lunch, and we usually watch something during lunch. We chat for a bit. Then it's time to go back to work, and I was feeling a bit hungry, so what I did, I grabbed myself some rice cakes. I felt like having some chocolate, so this was the best way to keep it a low caloric snack but still having some carbs before my gym session. I started with a warm-up. I'm going to do some sort of pool day, so I definitely need to warm up my back, my shoulders. I did some hangs, which are really good for your shoulders. Then I started with pull-ups. I did everything 3 sets of 10. Then I moved on to calf raises. Calf raises I do 3 times 20 both sides. Then I did some lat pull downs, trying to really engage my shoulder blades, try to squeeze everything, try to not move my body as much. I'm really building it up again because of my back/neck/shoulder blade injury. Then we moved on to seated rows, same thing. Try to really contract your shoulder blades, try to not move your upper body as much. Overhead lunges with kettlebells. You don't have to do it with kettlebells, but I only have kettlebells at the moment, so you just step back. And I usually do everything in supersets or trisets. So this was a triset of lat pull downs, rows, and then the lunges. Then I moved on to stiff leg deadlift. When it comes to deadlifts, try to push or hinge your hip backwards as if like you're closing a door. And then you don't have to, but I enjoy touching the weights on the floor. Just touching it, don't leave them, just touch them, go up. And then you sort of like push your hips back forwards. And we're moving on to the cable squat, just to get some more tension on the hamstrings and the gluteus maximus. You go down, you try to go all the way down, use the full range of motion, and then you really feel the back of your legs getting a lot of tension. It's a really good exercise, actually really enjoyed that. And then I finished it off with a bit of core. In the evening I just had some toast with my mix of chickpeas, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt. I mixed that in a blender, but I first roast the chickpeas. I've made this before, and then with the soup I made this morning, really tasty, really nice. I felt quite full. And here I'm actually making the chickpeas again because I finished the mixer. So what I do is then I have just a can of chickpeas, just drain some of the liquid, and then just add your herbs and spices. So I put salt, paprika powder, some chili powder, some chicken spice, and then you just spread it over your air fryer. and then you roast it for a little bit so it gets a nice roasty flavor, and then you just pop in some cottage cheese and Greek yogurt. You give it a good mix. If the consistency is right, that's it. You just pop it into a container. Here you have it, a protein snack that you can have on wraps, on whatever it is. So tasty. Tuesday morning, I made myself a yogurt bowl with Greek yogurt, protein powder, granola, banana, and some cinnamon. For lunch, we had the same mixture again. Then as a snack, I had some chocolate and I had a bit of biltong. I have chocolate every single day, and biltong was more of a protein snack, so I was able to continue with work. Then I had 1 or 2 dates because it was time again for a workout. So I just wanted some quick energy, and dates are quite tasty. And if you have a sweet tooth and you like to eat candy, for example, I'd suggest have a date because it almost gives you the same satisfaction. So I went out, I did a 10-minute walk as warm-up. I just quickly checked in with my clients, see if they needed me for anything. Then I just popped on a video, like a podcast or something to listen to, and then I started my jog. I did an easy run. It was basically 12k, just a nose breathing session. So easy run. I think I did feel a bit tired. It was a bit windy, but I mean it was okay. Just eventually it became quite dark, but that's okay. We got it done. Very nice slow pace, around 6.5 minutes per kilometer. So that was good. Average heart rate 155. So I was very happy with that. And yeah, then I went inside, massaged my calves. It's just very important to spend enough time on your calves because with the running, they have to go through a lot. So just make sure to take care of your Achilles and your calves. For dinner, again, soup, toast with the chickpeas mixture. Oh, and these are the bits, the insides of the butternut. You just roast them and they're so tasty. Honestly, I've seen someone do it and I thought, why would you do that? But it's honestly really, really tasty. It has a very nice taste. I just pop those into the soup, check if my clients need me for anything, and then I just pop my toast into the soup with the chickpeas mixture with a lot of protein, and that's it. Very good. So I finished my dinner, and then my husband came home a bit late, so we watched something and I made him a bit of a plate. Wednesday morning, I took a banana and I took some electrolytes because I was going to go out for a tempo run, and tempo runs are tough. So before I went out for the actual run, of course a warm-up. Just really do not forget your warm-up, especially if you're going to do a tempo session. You really want your body to be nice and warm before you go running. The weather was beautiful, the sun was out, it was warm. Yeah, what can you call warm? 15-16 degrees, but yeah, that's quite warm for 6 o'clock in the morning. And I just started with a little walk, and the sun just made me really, really happy. I started off with my tempo run. To be honest, I really messed it up this time. What happened was that I just started way too fast. Well, I do understand why I did. I'm going to explain to you now. The sun was out, the weather was just beautiful. That gives me a lot of energy. I was listening to a nice podcast or music, I'm not even too sure, and my body just felt so good. So instead of slowing down, starting slowly and run a negative split, after the first 3 or 4k, I was done. I was so tired. I mean, it's a huge learning curve for me because I should have just started slow and then ran a negative split, but I ran a huge positive split. This is the whole point of training, that I focus on starting slow and getting stronger and getting faster. But I wasn't thinking. I just needed to start slower and then go faster, and not the other way around. Underneath it. But the problem was it felt so good to start, and I should have just used my brain and slowed down so I could push myself at the end. And it was a mental game around the half part of the run. I felt so done, I felt so tired, but I just told myself, just keep going. If I can't even do this, then how am I supposed to do a marathon? So that's what kept me going, and I ended up finishing the run at a 5 minute and 15 pace, which honestly isn't even the pace I want to run in. I want to run just under 5 minutes, so definitely some work to do there. Went back inside to do some drilling for my calves and Achilles, just really making sure to take care of it. And honestly, I was sweating I don't think I've been sweating this much after a run. I think it was a combination of exerting that much energy and the warmth. When that was done, I went to make myself a nice breakfast. So I got some spinach, some eggs, popped them into a blender, mixed them, so then you get this mixture. Just pop on the heat, some olive oil in your pot, and then you pop in the whole mixture, the spinach and egg mixture, and you basically make yourself a wrap. And this is such an easy way to get in more greens and some protein. So I added the chickpeas mixture on top. And then I added some mincemeat with veggies mixture that I had left over. So it's a protein-packed wrap. And honestly, so good. And it was literally done with 10 minutes. So this really does not take you that much time. And you were even able to take this for lunch if you pop it into a container, and it was so good. That really left me satiated and full. Had to quickly run to the store. I picked up some noodles, I picked up some Greek yogurt, white cabbage, soy sauce, some pasta, some cheese, and some spring onion because I was going to make a noodle dish. So ingredients for this dish: carrots, white cabbage, broccoli, noodles, mushroom, ginger, and I just finished some more electrolytes. I definitely had to restore those salts. I started with boiling the noodles, then I cut the broccoli, popped it into a pan and just stir fried a little bit, then added the mushrooms, grated the carrot, checked the chicken burgers, added the ginger and garlic into the pot, then the carrots, just give it all a good stir, the spring onions and the white cabbage all in the pot, give it a good mix, popped in some soya sauce, and this is some other sort of Korean sauce, some mahi and some honey. Just gave it all a good mix, and then I was able to plate it up. And honestly, this was such a delicious dish. It was with some chicken burgers, crispy chicken burgers. It gave the dish a nice crunch. I think definitely it's better if you do it with chicken fillet because it just has a bit more protein in it, but this crunch really made a big difference in my opinion. And we really enjoyed it. We watched some Netflix and finished our plates. Then I went in the afternoon back to the kitchen because I was gonna get my daily dose of chocolate. I just really enjoy chocolate and being able to incorporate it into my lifestyle and still being able to lose weight. I think it's the best thing ever, and I'm trying to teach my online coaching clients the same thing, that they can eat the things they enjoy and still being able to lose weight. So this afternoon I had a content shoot, so I had to make some loaded fries here, and they were so good, and it was a protein shake, so that was absolutely perfect. I snacked on that while I was working. That was really great. I made myself a delicious protein-filled breakfast. Toast, boiled eggs, cottage cheese. You mix the cottage cheese with the boiled eggs and you pop some spices on, and you then pop that on the toast together with the mincemeat mixture. And honestly, one of my favorite breakfasts so far. Then it was already time for lunch. Same thing, the noodles with the veggie mixture and the chicken burgers. Then for a quick snack, I grabbed again the egg mixture with cottage cheese, but instead of on a toast, I popped it on a rice cake and I added some honey. So that was really tasty. Just had that while I was doing some work. In the evening, I actually had a run planned, but I wasn't feeling well. My stomach was feeling very painful. So instead of doing my session, I went into a bath. It was an Epsom salt and bubble bath, and that was really good. Actually, I felt so much better that I even afterwards went out for a walk. I did an hour walk. That was really good to end the day. And then for the evening again, I had some soup, some tea, and then my husband had some pasta, and we watched something again together. It was really nice just to have some quality time. The next morning, Friday morning, it was a strength training push workout together with my husband. So push workout, couples edition, you can call it. It's really nice to do a workout together. I started with just a bar as a warm-up set. We did this as a superset, so the one person was doing bench press and then the other one was doing the Bulgarian split squats. Yo, this is a very, very tough superset, but really good. So then I started with my working set, just a bar and 5 kilograms on both sides, and then Nana did 20, 10 and 5 on both sides and pumped out quite a few reps. So yeah, the difference is quite big, but that's okay because he's a man, I'm a woman, and I don't need a big chest, and he loves his big chest. So yeah, moving on to squats. Definitely started with a little warm-up, was very necessary. Then I popped 2 times 15 kgs on the bar. I haven't been squatting in a long time, so it was probably a bit too heavy, but luckily my husband came in and helped me, saved the day. And then he did the same thing, same weight, and did a bit more reps than me. Then we moved on to another superset, so it was cable front raises and calf raises, and then we swapped around. Then we did another superset, so it was cable tricep extensions, reverse crunch and crunch, and yeah, some playing around time. So it's nice to do supersets or trisets because you don't have to wait between every exercise. From the cable extensions you can move straight into the core, and then from the core you can move straight into the cable extensions again. And then of course we ended with a bit of a cool down, some stretching together. Nana had a playlist and he actually put on some old music, one of the songs that played in the club while we met, so a little bit of a morning down memory lane, so that was quite cool. Session wasn't too long, it was just under 15 minutes, and yeah, it was just really nice to do a session together. Really enjoyed it. Because we did a strength training session, we definitely needed some carbs back into the system. For my husband, I made toast with mincemeat and cheese in the grill. And then for myself, remember the leftover seafood curry? I actually popped that into a wrap with a bit of cheese and in the grill. And that was really, really tasty. So I would say if you have a leftover curry, just pop it into a wrap, get some cheese with it. That was really, really good. I'm probably having that again. Yeah, it was basically the same again for lunch, the noodles and the veggies mixture. It was a very, very, very rainy day. So we had that for lunch. That was really, really nice. And again with the chicken burgers, the crispy chicken burgers. It was a bit chilly today, but nice that we can always have lunch together. Then as a snack I had some rice cakes with the chickpea mixture and some honey. And in the meantime I was just getting some work done and folding some clothes. These things also have to get done. Then I was supposed to do a medium run, but because the weather was so bad, it was raining a lot. And I'm not from sugar, so I'm not gonna melt when I go outside. But at the same time, yesterday I didn't feel 100%. I still didn't feel 100%. So that's why instead of going outside, I was like, let me just go inside. Let's get a cycle in. And instead of 2 hours, I did 1.5 hours because there were a few things in between. So I also didn't have the full time, but at least I did a workout because in the evening I still had to give a Dutch lesson. And yeah, this was the only way really to get another sort of workout in to make sure that I do the volume that I need to do to be able to run my marathon. So after 1.5 hours, I was a sweaty mess, but it was a good session. It was in zone 2 or 3. Maximum heart rate was 152, but average 129, so that's really low. That's really good. And then we got such a nice surprise. My dad sent us a card and flowers and cake because this upcoming weekend is our 1-year wedding anniversary, so that was an amazing surprise. Then I quickly had to get ready for my Dutch lessons, and after my Dutch lessons I got myself some soup, some tea. I did some editing. Then I realized I'm still quite hungry, so I got another plate with some noodles and the veggies and the chicken burger. That was really, really good, so I ate that while I was editing. This is the end of this full week of training and eating. I really want to thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions about the training or the nutrition or anything else, please leave a comment and stay tuned for the next video because it will be a 3-hour long run plus our anniversary weekend. So I'm really excited to take you along in the next vlog. So stay tuned and have a great weekend. Cheers, bye.